That's right. Welcome back to the Puck Drop Podcast. I'm Cole, the NHL Music Man Chapman, and I am here with Broccoli Brandon, and we're going to talk to him here in a minute. But we are brought to you by Hockey Stops. Don't forget that one-stop shop up in Ogden and Logan if you need any hockey gear, tape, sticks, skates, you name it. They have everything. Make sure you check them out. And this episode is also brought to you by Five Wise Vodka. They do our spicy tuna shot that we have at our watch parties. And I'm going to spin off a little twist here. Speaking of watch parties, I have a prop here that I had made, 3D printed. We couldn't do actual size, but it's fun enough, big enough to do a photo op with a Stanley Cup watch party that we are planning. It's going to be at an incredible venue that has I'm talking 100-foot screens, TV screens. So it's going to be pretty special. Make sure you follow our socials to stay up to date on that. That will be coming soon. And I'm here with Broccoli Brandon again. So this is take 2. We forgot to hit the record button.
That's right. We
caught it. I think we caught it, in a good amount of time. So
yep, exactly.
So Broccoli Brandon here, he went viral on multiple social media platforms. Him and his buddies decided to do something for Karel Vejmelka. He had a great game with the Carolina Hurricanes. We talked about that. He had 49 saves out of 50 shots. Just incredible. Yeah, put her on. Put her on.
Full effect here. I'm going to take the headphones.
You can take your headphones off, yeah. Let's check her out.
We got this is a signed one.
Ooh, signed by Veggie?
Signed by Veggie.
There you go.
There we go. So, yep, it's ridiculous. I'm fully aware of it. I did hear somebody yesterday, I think it was on ESPN radio, thought it was a filter the whole time.
Oh, really?
And he was like, why are you interviewing somebody with a broccoli filter on? And she's like, no, that's a
so
hat.
funny.
And he was like, I don't get it. How did he find this filter? She's like, no, it's a hat.
No, it's real. It's a physical, real. You can pick it up with your hands.
Yes, exactly. So
that's awesome. And he got a stick.
Yeah.
If you weren't here for take 1, we talked a lot about this stick.
And it was pretty cool. So basically at the Kraken game afterwards, and for every game really, I like to go up against the glass during the 3 stars and yell and shout and bang on the glass. And so after the Kraken game, I turned around, somebody asked to take a picture of me. And it
ended up being Bill Armstrong's wife. Yeah.
Yeah. And didn't know that though. And she basically told me hey, that he loves this. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Actually I have no idea. Yeah. That's awesome. I really want to get him. And I brought an unused veggie hat, broccoli hat. And I said, I really want to get him this. Yeah. And she was like, I'll make sure he gets it. Come find me after the game on Thursday. Cool. Which was the season home finale of the Predators. And so, so I get there and we went out during warm-ups, hyped up. I'm probably 6, 7, 10 rows up, just 2 rows behind.
It's pretty packed for that last game.
It was so packed.
Yeah.
And he starts skating over to where my side is and starts handing the stick up, but then he just keeps waving people off and pointing at me that I'm getting it. And it was so cool. And then it was signed. Thanks for support, bro. Right on there.
That's so cool.
So he had it ready.
So I was gonna say he didn't sign that right away. It was
he skated over from the net.
He knew that he was gonna give you that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And then after the game, I went and found her and thanked her. I was like, I assume that you're responsible for this. You got him to do that, and maybe he's planning it. Who knows? But for sure, she played a huge role in that. She goes, no. He wanted to meet you, so stay here. And so then after the game, I got to go down and talk with him for.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I saw your photos, and we'll put some of this up on our episode. But
so we got to go
to the tunnel.
Down in the tunnel. After the team meeting, he came out, talked with me for a little bit, talked about his summer plans, and basically then someone told him, you got to sign the stick. He goes, I already signed it, so I haven't signed the veggie hat.
There you go.
So that way it's the only one. I'm sure if he ever does a signing or any of the team events with season ticket holders there, people are just going to bring that for him to sign now, which is great. I don't mind.
But you have a one of
right
one
now.
right now.
It's one of one. Yeah.
It's rare. First edition.
Exactly.
Holographic first edition.
Yep. Get graded.
Send it to PSA. Okay, so you started this whole broccoli trend.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this earlier, but now we're starting to see other vegetable hats in the arena.
Yeah.
We've seen an onion, a tomato, a piece of corn. I mean, you name
Carrot.
it. Yep. and we discussed like how cool is it that you essentially are a part of, the team culture, the arena culture, that's a big thing with hockey. There's these cultures, there's these traditions, if you will, and Veggie is signed for another 5 years in Utah. So we've got that going on. We've got, and people are throwing broccoli out onto the ice.
Yeah.
There's people that are fans of that, and people that I think Sergachev said he's not that big of a fan.
Said that. I did talk to Chris Armstrong at the final game.
Oh, did you?
And I wanted it known just in case the team was mad about it. I was like, I did not throw the broccoli on the ice. And Chris said, no, we love it. Yeah. And I was like, I know Sergey was mad at it. He goes, but like, we love it.
Would he be better off if we threw an egg on the ice? No.
Maybe. I mean, and that was like my first like super viral moment was.
Yeah. Let's hear about that.
I got some wooden eggs from a friend. So for the broccoli thing, I wish I was genius enough to come up with these ideas on my own. Really, it was like a group effort, and then I just happened to be the one that got the attention. So for my friend Ryan, he was the one that bought the broccoli.
Shout out to Ryan.
Shout out Ryan Reynolds is his name.
Ryan Reynolds,
not the actor, but just as good looking. So, but yeah, he got his confiscated by Delta Center security, and I did not. So I got lucky there.
Yeah.
But it could have been broccoli Ryan. But I told him it didn't sound as good. He needed a radish.
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, but for the egg, I wanted him to sign an egg, but I couldn't find I was like, I don't want to do like a plastic Easter egg. Like it doesn't look real. And then my friend Jackie, who you may know from Letters to Ingram, she was like, hey, I've got some wooden eggs. I've got an extra one. Do you want one? I was like, absolutely, I want an extra wooden egg. So he like picked it up and looked at it and he's like, this is weird. Like, okay. And he signed it. And but it's wooden. There was someone else that brought in real eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen to those eggs. Like, do you drain them out? I don't know. I'm sure there's ways of preserving them, but this one's wooden, so it won't go rotten or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody took a picture of me and then like tweeted it out, put it on Instagram, tagged a bunch of different sports people. And it just started going crazy.
I think I remember seeing that, and I didn't know you at the time, because we talked about like the whole Twitter family. Twitter is explosive with people posting content and discussions and everything about the team.
Oh yeah, Twitter's a cult. It's fine. We're a happy cult, though.
Yeah, for cult. Sure. No, I love it, and we're getting more involved into it. And I'm like, wow, what have I been doing this whole time? Like I would jump on there and like post stuff but I wouldn't like get engaged. I've never been. I've never been a Twitter guy.
I met you guys at the opening game. You were behind ESPN with your sign.
Oh, okay.
And I said like, oh yeah, I've listened to a couple of your guys' episodes because you had just been getting started. Okay. And I was like, but you guys need to be more active on Twitter. And you're like, yeah, we're really bad at it. And then you left and you handed me your sign. Yeah. I can't remember what it even said, but you handed me your sign.
They were handing those out. Yeah. I didn't make it. They were giving them out. Yeah.
But yeah, you gave me your sign as you left.
Right,
ESPN
right behind PK Subban. And
exactly. So, but yeah, I'm glad you're finally listening to me and getting more active on Twitter. Right. Yeah. It is very rabid in there, but super positive.
It's good. Yeah. I like it a lot. I've met a lot of people. I don't know his name. The dude that wears the
Brendan. Yes. Or Brandon. Sorry. Yes. His name is also Brandon.
So he's also Brandon.
Yeah. But
I thought that and I was like, wait.
Yeah, he's an EN and I'm an ON.
Yeah. So we're bringing him on not next week, but the week after.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
And so I'm finding a lot of great like Twitter people to bring on the podcast.
Yep.
Just
Sojo Bama Ute fan is his display name.
Yeah. Oh, he is a bundle of. We're gonna have to probably bleep out a lot of words with him, but.
It can be rated R podcast. Just throw up a parental advisory on there.
He's a character for sure.
He's awesome.
So yeah, that's super cool. So I'm interested to hear about, where your hockey fandom began. Yeah. Did it start with, NHL coming to Utah? I'm going to assume Maybe not, but
It did not. Yeah, I was a Coyotes fan.
Okay, all right.
I grew up in Gilbert, Arizona.
Okay.
Coyotes moved to town when I was 8. I remember going to the Suns Arena to watch games. At that time, it's basically what Delta Center is now.
Yeah.
Super obstructed views, just not great.
Yeah.
But it was...
And they have a new arena now, yeah.
Well, they don't have anything because the team doesn't
Oh,
exist.
no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the Phoenix Suns, NBA.
Oh, the Phoenix Suns. It's the same arena for them, but they've like redone it a few times, I think. But yeah, it's around. It might be a new arena, but it's like basically the same location area. But yeah, it was great. I loved it. You know, they started doing youth hockey clinics and street hockey and all of that. You know, I was in love with it. And then my family moved to Utah right before the Olympics.
Okay.
And,
02.
Yep. So basically just, you know, back then there wasn't streaming. There wasn't, if you didn't live in the state, you weren't watching it.
Right.
And so, you know.
So as an Arizonian, like, come on, like, how did that, what was going through your head? I've never talked to anybody that, like, you know, is similar in your situation. Like you moved here prior to the team, but you're also from Arizona. So that's,
then I moved back to Arizona from 2015 to 18.
Okay.
I had season tickets for the Coyotes those years.
Mullet Arena?
No, Gila River.
Okay.
So the Glendale Arena.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what, you know, unfortunately, and I am a Coyotes fan. I want the Coyotes to come back, but it's exactly what the naysayers and the downers are going to say. Like, it was half to 3/4 full, most of it opposing fans, and just not great. Yeah. And it's a drive. You know, I lived out in what was then or now East Mesa, still is East Mesa, I guess. And it was 45 minutes an hour drive. But I live in Orem now, and I still drive to the Delta Center.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we dragged you all the way up here too, so
exactly.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, well, luckily I was
making the drive.
I was in Salt Lake today, so it made it easy.
There you go.
But it definitely it was difficult, and it's hard to drive that far for a mediocre team.
Yeah,
it is. And the owners were terrible. The owner situations were terrible, just one after the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to be there for the Clayton Keller draft. Shane Doan's last game.
Awesome.
Before we knew it was Shane Doan's last game.
Cool. Yeah.
And for those that don't know, like, they didn't tell Shane Doan they weren't re-signing him.
Yeah. Really?
Yep. So his contract was out. He was fully expecting to do at least 1, maybe 2 more years.
Wow.
And they just said, nope, we're
so
moving on.
It was one of those things. And so doesn't he have his jersey?
So they retired it years later. So Andrew Barroway was the owner at the time.
Yeah.
And John Chaika was the GM. He was they kind of described him at the time as the Moneyball of hockey, but it blew up spectacularly. Yeah. It was terrible. So just bad. He only focused on the plus minus analytics and all that kind of stuff, which those can be helpful in forming a team, but it doesn't tell you anything about chemistry. It's a team sport. And so it just was different. And basically, they did not handle Shane Doan's departure. Shane Doan basically went straight over to NHL. So he actually got a job with NHL as the structure of a whole.
Okay.
And then they finally patched things up. They retired his number. And then he was working for the Coyotes. And then the then owner's son, so Marullo, became the owner fully after a little bit. And Marullo's son basically fired Shane Doan or told him he would never be in.
Gotcha.
And then Shane Doan went over to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow. All right.
So all sorts of fun
interesting.
Drama. Yeah. Coming as a Coyotes fan, I was excited to see what Ryan could do.
Yeah.
As a competent,
because you've seen both.
Money.
You were in the thick of.
I only saw incompetent owners.
For sure.
Only incompetent owners.
So what are your thoughts on the comparison of everything so far?
Oh, it's night and day.
Yeah.
You could tell the players are happier. And I even said at the beginning, like, I thought maybe the boys were a little bit intimidated playing in front of that crowd.
Yeah.
In front of that home crowd that was that rabid for them. And Dylan Gunther said it, though, in an interview just a couple weeks ago, because they were talking about how at the beginning they kind of went through a weird losing streak at home. Mm-hmm. And he was like, honestly, we were intimidated, and we were scared we were going to let the people down, and it just messed with our heads.
Yeah.
And
that's so real. Like with
And say what you will, they did show up with those years at Mullet, but it's a 4,500 seat arena. And yes, there were no obstructed views, but Delta Center had 16,000 with 4,000 obstructed.
Yeah.
So the obstructed seats in Delta Center are the same amount as what Mullet had.
Yeah. And that's when they pack it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I had no idea. That is a cool perspective to hear about, because I don't think there's a lot of people, like you here in Utah that have, that interesting perspective of both sides.
And even Cole Bagley tweeted the other day, we had 10 players that have reached their career highs this season. That's epic. So they're all performing well.
We're definitely set up for the future. I like, there's teams that rebuild and I think the Coyotes started their rebuild prior to coming to Utah. So we're like in the build. You know what I mean? It's not
we're benefiting from that.
Yeah, we're not rebuilding right now. It's like we're in this build. And I'll go back to, our Take One episode. Actually, I don't even know if I said this, but I think for a new fan base, and my good friend Ed Cable, he's gonna hound me if I don't give him a shout out, but his perspective is a brand new team. I'm not going to say brand new franchise because it's not a brand new franchise, but whatever the situation is, right?
Technically,
but a brand new team coming into a new state where a lot of people don't know hockey. It's almost beneficial to not spoil them too early. So like Vegas.
Look at Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. They went to the Stanley Cup year one, and then they had some down years, and then they went back, 2 or 3 years later, and ended up winning the cup. So that's kind of that's how I look at it. Let's not spoil what we have.
We need a little adversity to appreciate it.
Yeah, build it up. We almost made the playoffs this year. We have the high potential of making it next year, and whatever happens in the playoffs, let's say we do make it next year, whatever happens, we made it. That's
the goal.
And then let's say we get eliminated round one, and then the next year, what happens after that? You start working your way up to that, and then you start getting to.
I was going to say, for those that are new, I always say this on our show. As you know, I run we have a small podcast, Salty Ice Insiders, with it, but mostly Twitter based and all of that. But I always say in there, don't get attached to your favorite third and fourth liners.
Yeah,
because as you're building your team, getting ready to go to the Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, they're always tradable, and there are always ways to get bigger pieces.
So on that subject, do you know our third and fourth lines off the top of your head?
Well, it's been getting switched around a little bit, but we've got Krause, McBain, Doan, and then we've got Kerfoot, Bukestad, and then it rotates Yamamoto, Michelli, O'Brien, Carconi.
So do you see? So I think we can almost guarantee that somebody's going to get traded in the offseason.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? Especially with our cap space and everything else. So
especially if we're planning on going after any big free agent, either centers or, it's going to be forwards really. I think our D is pretty good to set.
So the really big names that are entering free agency, do you think that like a trade package from Utah is going to look like some draft picks plus maybe one or two third and fourth liners, or do you see any first or second liners moving to up that trade value?
I think there's always a potential that a first or second liner could move. I would never say no to that. I think for sure third and fourth liners are going to be open. I think there's some that are more movable than others. I don't think we move McBain or Doan right now. I'm hoping Doan follows in the footsteps of his dad and stays with us until he can hang his number in the rafters. Exactly. So,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But, I think it just depends. I'm hoping, but we have so much draft capital that we have way too many prospects and not enough contracts. So there's a lot of prospects that we could trade to from, we drafted 10 10 people last year. We don't need all those guys.
Yeah.
But there's other organizations that will.
Yeah.
So.
And it's so somebody sent me where we called up a prospect, and it was a younger prospect that got drafted, I want to say in 23.
Okay.
I can't remember the year exactly, but you know, as a new follower of this team, you know, I didn't follow the Coyotes when, you know, my team was Vegas because they were the closest to us.
Yeah.
You know, and I needed a team at the time that Vegas started. So I saw something that Utah was calling up, you know, somebody that was drafted in I think it was like 2023. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I didn't think about all of the young gun like draft guys that happened prior to coming to Utah.
Yeah.
You know, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, some of that happen. I think some will move up quicker than others. I think Tej
will be probably one more year.
I think he'll be one more year, and then he'll come in.
But yeah, and I'm curious on the Russians too. We'll see how they fare out. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Like, I'm not a huge on the prospects. Like when we talk on ours or just with Twitter in general, I kind of focus on like, hey, here's the
here and now.
Here's what we're doing right now. Like, we just focus mostly on the games that we either have played or will be playing, because you know, there's so many, like, I mean, there's you guys, but there's also lots of other people out there that focus on that kind of thing. Like, and, you know, everybody tries to do just something a little bit different, right? And we don't want to.
You're talking podcasts?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, like, everybody does something a little bit different, but it's good because then we're not necessarily overlapping or fight. Like, all of us,
right.
Like, there's not like we don't like you because you're our competition kind of thing, because that's not really.
There's a little bit of that, but not. I've had some people treat us like that.
And
yeah.
I should
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want success for everybody. You know, I think there's room.
There's so much room
in this Utah culture for everybody, and I do think that everybody's doing something a little bit different.
It's an ocean,
you know,
an ocean,
and it's cool. And we try to stay away from like the stats and the real time stuff, because we have a team that does the editing and the producing and all of that. And it takes a week. Yeah. You know, it takes a week. So we can't, like, if we sometimes we'll talk about a specific game and it'll come out a week later and it's like, okay, this is old news. So it kind of sucks. But so yeah, we try to deter, you know, we just want to talk to people. Yeah. We want to hear their stories. We want to meet people. I love meeting new people.
Culture. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. And the people within the hockey culture are incredible. I mean, there's people that I've met that have been, you know, better to me as a person in a social aspect than some of my longest friends. Yeah. You know, and it's just, I love it.
And that's literally what the team has done.
Yeah. Like, for sure. The players, the team, you know, everything.
Like and you guys brought, I think you had tweeted it out, or maybe, I'm pretty sure it was from the podcast Twitter account, but you tweet out like, hey, we're trying to get accessible seats for a fan because he's in a wheelchair. Yeah. And like, I made sure like we put it in our Twitter group. I tweeted it out from all of our, you know, our podcast channel, from my channel.
And it happened like that. I mean,
and it was so quick.
We raised $530.
Yeah. And then like, we're like, okay, well now we have too much, like get them a jersey. That was the cool thing. Yeah. And that's what I love about, but that's not the first time we've done that. Yeah. So like we had a time where it was a gentleman, he wanted to bring his granddaughter to a game, and she is a Make-A-Wish kid. So she got some stuff with that, but this cancer kid, the whole family, there's 5 of them. They haven't been able to go to a game together. So mom, dad, siblings haven't been able to go to a game. So we all pitched together, got them 5 tickets, so that they could all be at the game. And then there was another fan, a Canucks fan, who is living in Utah, but at the end of the Canucks game, a Utah fan threw a beer on him, and it spilled all over him and his wife, and it just was like a terrible.
I think I remember seeing that. Yeah,
it wasn't great.
Yeah,
and so we saw that on Twitter. We got it. We got him and his wife to a game with us, and then also gave them. It was their anniversary. Got them a gift card to their favorite restaurant to go out for their anniversary.
That's awesome, dude.
Like that's the kind of thing that happens, and like there's tons of other examples. I mean, you already said maybe you're going to have Brandon on Hockenberry, the guy with the bandana. Like, he is known, if people say, hey, like, I've been trying to get a warm-up puck all season, he will get them that puck.
Yeah.
Like, he will get it for them. And then we've got, like, Britt Lamoureux, who you might have seen on Twitter. Like, she loves Jersey.
Yeah.
She had a jersey. I was like, hey, come
Jersey.
I know.
Love that.
She's like, hey, I saw her walking up. I said, come hang out right here where I am, where the players, come in.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get him to stop and sign. And then he did. Like, he stopped his car, got out of his car, signed her jersey. Yeah. Like, that's just the kind of cool community. I had never met her before that, but I recognized her from interacting with her on Twitter. And that's just kind of how it is. Like, all of us, and that's why we started the Upper Bowl meetups during the first intermission, because, like, we were interacting on Twitter, but we wanted to meet in real life and be friends in real life.
And send me all of those photos. I want to I want to show the progression on this episode of where it started and where it's gone.
I've got a couple different videos that I didn't use, so I'll do one that's like one of each one.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, send those to me and we'll get those on.
5, 6 of us, and I think the last game we had over 50, 60, 70. Yeah. It was crazy.
Well, and the cool thing, so I think the hockey culture in general, like, Utah aside, hockey culture and hockey players, NHL players, doesn't matter what level, they're really good people. They want to talk to the fans. They want to interact with them. They don't mind signing autographs for the most part. I'm sure there's some out there that don't want to, but then you bring that culture into Utah, which also has a really good, strong, family culture. A lot of young kids, a lot of, just true and genuine people that truly love helping others.
Yeah.
So you blend those two things together, and it's huge. It's cool.
Anytime I've caught a warm-up puck, I make sure I give it to a kid.
Yep.
Like, it's
and that's what we did.
It makes that kid love it.
Yeah.
Like, and all the players, anytime I went to a season ticket holder event, the handlers or whatever be like, okay, no more autographs. And they're like, nope. Like, and they stay until everybody gets their autograph. Like, that's so the kind of people that they are.
Yeah. That's awesome. So we've got like a few more minutes left here. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Overtime Cards. So we're teaming up with them to do a spicy tuna, Liam O'Brien autograph signing event, similar to what you guys did, where you got your Sergachev egg. Yeah, so that's coming up on April 24th. Make sure you get your tickets because they sell out every single time.
Yep,
and
I got mine.
Yeah, so. Have you met Liam yet in person? I
have, just quickly. He couldn't sign anymore. Like, literally, they were walking him down the hall. But
he's one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Yeah, like, me and him kind of like chat more often than I would have expected just on Instagram. He's like just so cool. He's down. Yeah. So make sure you check that out. Yeah. Brandon, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Glad we could get you all the way down here from Orem, and you know what? Keep doing what you're doing, and let's do what we can to build the culture and to build those traditions. I think you've kind of already started one, and I think it'll last for the next at least 5 years.
Hopefully. Exactly. I'm hoping that we're going to get more and more of it. I think there's a lot of potential, especially when we finally get branding and a name, more things will come out, and it'll just happen naturally over time. But I'm really excited that this was the first one.
Yep. Looking forward to it, guys. The season's over. We're about to get a permanent team name. And so we can shut up all those people online that are like, you don't even have a name.
We're going to know on draft day.
Yeah, I guarantee it. They're going to unveil, it's going to be like Clayton Keller skating out in the new uniform with the name, or I think they're going to probably do something special for it. So make sure you tune in. Don't forget, even though the Utah season is over, make sure you still watch hockey. Playoff hockey is incredible. The Stanley Cup is incredible. And again, we're having a Stanley Cup watch party. Make sure you come check it out. And again, thank you.
Yeah.
This has been the Puck Drop Podcast. We will see you next week.